Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for today's Friday Maker Mania video. Today we're going to have a always favorite library guest share a video with us today. Jessie from We Are Farmily is going to talk about ways that you can create your own cardboard cities with supplies that you might find around your house. So let me just go ahead and pop in Jessie's video and we'll get started with our quick and easy demo today. Hold tight.
Hi, I'm Jesse. Today I'm going to show you how to make a house, building, village, or even a city out of scrap cardboard. If you're like me, you've got lots of cardboard just sitting around, all textures and shapes and sizes, just waiting to be turned into something cool. With just a little bit of time, creativity, and a few simple tools, you'll be able to turn this cardboard into an awesome project. Quick disclaimer, this project might require some sharp or hot tools. So let's get started. Whenever starting something new, I like to search Google for some inspiration. I found a lot of great examples of things that you can do with this cardboard there. You could also look at pictures of real buildings and cityscapes to get some more inspiration. The first thing I did was sketched out my idea. Next, I looked at the various cardboard boxes that I had or pieces, and I tried to decide how they can best suit my design. I want to use the shape and the texture of the boxes that are already here, and that'll make it a little bit easier. For example, this box already kind of building shaped. I don't want the images on the outside to show, so I'm going to turn this box inside out. If your cardboard has images on it or writing, feel free to take it apart or cut it so that the inside is what now faces out. Because you can also draw details onto your buildings as well, rather than cut them out and paste them on. This could be a chimney, or it could also be a round building in a downtown city skyline. Some of the tools that I'll be using are scissors, box cutter, and a hot glue gun. If you don't have a hot glue gun, that's okay. You can also use tape. If you don't have tape, that's also fine. There are lots of ways to attach cardboard pieces to each other. For example, you can create flanges on the bottom of a tube, spread them out, and then attach. You can create hinges just by folding the cardboard. You can create a slot in two different pieces and then push them together. Or you can make tabs. If you have brads or paper clips, you can also use those to attach your cardboard pieces as well. You can also decide on a theme. It can be a futuristic city or building. It can be a fantasy type building. It can be hyper realistic. Truly, creativity is your only limitation. So I decided to go with sort of a whimsical theme. I like the fact that the windows and the doors aren't exactly straight lines. That gives it sort of like a fun feel. I decided to use a marker to create some details on my buildings, but for the most part, the structure is created 100% from cardboard. I added a little clothesline with a piece of string I found and some very thin cardboard for the clothes. I tried to use the natural texture of the cardboard to create the textures I wanted in my buildings. Because boxes and buildings aren't shaped that differently anyway, you can take a box, close it up, stand it on end. So I made the middle building in my village out of a box like this. I took it apart and folded it inside out. and just started to sort of play with the shape. Once I did, I noticed that I could angle the top up a little bit and then take the back of the box, or what was the back of the box, and put it up top. And I sort of had a building already. Okay, now that I kind of have an idea where my front door would be, I'm going to go ahead and cut it before I do any of my gluing. The reason for that is that if you cut it after you glue it, it's going to make you have to put it in some weird positions to cut it, and you might end up needing one of these. If you can visualize and draw out your design beforehand, then you know where to cut before you glue or tape or attach your cardboard together. So I can draw my door, and then using scissors, I can cut it out. So to start getting my box into the shape of a building, I need to go ahead and begin gluing down the sides. Again, you can use glue, you can use tape, you can use any of the attachment methods from earlier. I'm using hot glue because it's pretty quick. I like to use a low temp hot glue gun because it works just fine on cardboard. I'm going to put some right here, and then carefully setting my hot glue gun down, I will hold the two pieces together and count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's usually all it takes. So now I will continue that process until I have the building, at least the bottom part of my building, the way that I want it. A few quick tips. If you look carefully at your cardboard, you'll notice that it has grain, like wood almost. The inside structure of your cardboard will either run up and down or side to side. If you fold along the grain, you're going to have a much easier time making that fold and making it look nice than if you went against the grain. Against the grain, with the grain. When cutting cardboard, it's also recommended that you cut with the grain as well. Cutting with the grain will give you a straighter line than cutting against the grain. You'll also notice it's harder to cut against the grain. The harder it is to cut, the more likely you are to cut yourself. This is especially true with a box cutter or a little craft knife. The harder you have to push, the more likely you are to injure yourself. So go with the grain, not against the grain, and you'll have a much easier time. Also, cardboard will dull a blade very quickly, whether that's on your scissors or on your craft knife or box cutter. So be very careful as you're working to notice if it's getting too hard to cut. If it gets too hard to cut, I would switch to another utensil. If you are using tape, you can really use any kind of tape for this. It will work just fine. I recommend putting the tape on the inside of your project, the inside of a corner, for example, so that you don't see the tape on the outside, because that might take away from the artistic effect a little bit. And finally, if you're using markers or paint or another medium to add color and detail to your project, try not to use it on the outside of your cardboard where it's all shiny, because it will smear. On the inside, it will soak up your paint or marker nicely and allow you to see the contrast. Well, there you have it. Take some of that old cardboard, don't throw it away, turn it into something really cool, and have a great time while you're at it. See you next time.
Keep forgetting about Mike being muted. Thanks for tuning in and paying attention and enjoying Jesse's presentation on how to make cardboard building creations. I think his city looks pretty darn cool if you ask me. I want him to come over here and make one for the makerspace. got lots of cardboard. I bet you guys do too. I'd love to see any pictures of any buildings that you all have made ever. So if you make one at home, you can always take a picture of it and send it to me. And my name is Sharon Rice. My email address is my name, sharon.rice@pueblolibrary.org. I'd love to see your pictures if you guys make any cardboard creations, so please send them to me. Next week, we have a really cool kit coming. It's a bug catcher, and we're going to hear from Susan from iFizz about creepy crawlies, everything that you want to know about them and how to catch them. You can register for that particular program at our calendar of events on pueblolibrary.org. Go there, click on a calendar of live events, click on virtual, and click on next Friday, and it's at 4 p.m. So please do register for that so that you guys can get your kits. The kits will be available to pick up here at the Rawlings Library, unless you make a special arrangement with me to send it to the branch of your choice. Until then, I can't wait to see you guys again next Friday. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep making. Have a great one, guys. Bye.